So my Egoscue menu contains around 15 exercises, or E-sices as it is commonly referred to in the clinic. We thought it would be good to show you 3 of them so that you can try them out for yourself and begin to feel some of the benefits. Also notice the subtleties and attention to detail in all of Paul's instructions.
So first exercise is called static back. So what you're going to do is you're going to lie down on your back, hips here, head there, and legs propped up on top.
Okay.
And then we slide this all the way in to your hips, and then you relax your legs just down. Now you're a little taller than the average there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this underneath, just like that. So it's tall enough so that your legs can truly rest there without flopping out too far. Okay, so what this does is it helps to get your hips into a position where they can actually rest into neutral. So remember from your pictures how your hips were forward of your shoulders and how your back was rounded on top and head was forward. So now they're all in a straight line. So you're getting your spine to neutral, pelvis to neutral, and just all you have to do here is relax. Now at home what you can do is take a paperweight or something, put it on your stomach, so when you breathe in, you actually feel that rise, and then as you breathe out, it falls. So a couple things to ask here are, what's my low back doing? Is it flat or is it arched?
It's mostly flat.
Most of that, but maybe a little bit of space in there.
Yes.
Okay, so as you're here, 5 to 10 minutes, you just let that settle out, and it should settle to flat. And what that means is that your pelvis is releasing its position, your spine is actually getting into neutral, and everything is just flattening out. This is a great one for people with low back issues, people with hip issues, because it just gets it back to neutral.
So Paul, where should my arms be?
Well, yours are close to 90 right now. What I would say for you is bring them down closer to 45.
Okay.
So like that.
Yeah, actually.
And what that does is change your shoulder position, allow it to settle in. You can see the space underneath your hand and wrist. Over time, that should be there.
So is it better than to just let kind of gravity take over, or because I could force this down, but then
just relax.
raise? Okay.
Exactly. It's a seesaw. So your elbow is your pivot point, but that shows how much that shoulder is actually rounded and sort of out of position. So as you're here more and more, the space that's underneath here will actually get lower. And at the same time, your wrist will close down too. It shows how your biceps have been locked out, sort of how locked up that's been, which is interesting.
And for home, with just a couch or a coffee table or something like that?
Yeah, an ottoman or 18 inches is standard chair height for most people. That's going to be fine. This lift is about 2 inches, so you can take a bed pillow or fold up some blankets and put them underneath because again you're a little taller. So I would put something to just lift you up. And what you want is you just don't want your legs to flop out too far. You don't have to hold them here, but you want them about hip width apart.
Man, this feels awesome.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially if the type A personality.
Oh my God.
Right? But it's to get the breathing.
If we started the interview like this, it would be a very different interview.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. Hey guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's this kombucha done to you?
Oh man.
Right shoulders.
Okay, so I'll stay here about, you said about 5 to 15?
5 to 10, yeah, 5 to 10. Especially we're keeping in that 30-minute range, so I would say 5 minutes. But pay attention to your low back, and it might be something where at the end of the day, if you've been sitting for a long period of time, or you feel like you're off, this is when you can come back and relax. So if you've got the TV on or some music or something like that, then great place to relax. So next one we're going to just call the windmill. So you're going to get your heels all the way back to the wall, and then we're going to redefine what straight is. So you can take a look at your right foot and see how it wants to turn out. So we're going to turn that so it's straight. Okay. So turn in a little bit more, and now pigeon toe a little bit more on both feet. So the outside edges are more parallel to each other.
Yep.
Yeah. How's that feel there?
Yeah, I feel this guy working.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. That's how tight that hip is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the kickstand normally. So during the day, don't worry about it. During your exercises, be very meticulous.
Okay.
Okay, watch that so you're not loading over that foot and leg in its same off position.
Also, my lower back now has a slight more of an arch.
Yeah, what's going to happen. Yeah.
Cool.
So you just let that happen. Good.
Sounds good.
Arms out to your sides. And then you can go up as high as 90, but if you feel like you're going into your traps or elevating into your neck, then just keep them down a little bit more. Okay, good. So right there. And then thumbs or pinkies are touching the wall, fingers are spread. Good. And then you're going to reach
roll
across,
forward in that?
and then you're going to
Roll
wing to the side. Good. Just like that. So you're fixed wing airplane there. And then back to center.
Rolling space.
And then you're going to shift the opposite way. And then maybe the other way, keeping your hips velcroed to the wall, which is great.
Oh, this
Good.
is wild.
Good.
Didn't we say on the picture that my right side is
Yeah.
more?
So you feel how much that opens up? Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And the wall is keeping you from rotating or deviating into another plane of motion. So it's keeping you there and fixed while you actually have to get that to open and shift. Okay, so go back the other way again. And just nice steady motion. So you find the end range, it's comfortable, then back to center, and shift, and then leaning the other way. There you go, good. You're doing a good job keeping your heels down, your knees are staying straight, not locked out, but straight.
Okay.
We're going back and
And is
forth.
it pull and then?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shift. Yeah, shift the trunk without moving the hips, and then over the side.
Wow.
So that feels very different than the other.
Very different.
Yeah. So just a lot easier going to your right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you're already crunched down.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to work back there, and all the muscles in your back are
And
like,
this, wow, my rib cage feels like it's more open.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that whole rib has been closed down. All those muscles just been locked in.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Your shoulder and hip effectively were one unit. That's what your body was doing. Was creating one unit there.
I feel like it is going.
Now you're reminding your shoulder to be a shoulder, you're reminding your hip to
But I'm using
let
my
go and do
abs
its
to
own thing.
track that growth.
Wow.
Yeah. So we go 5 each way in this position, and then what we do is go 2 feet apart, and then 3 feet apart, and then we go back to hip width. So we do 5 in each position.
Movements you want, right?
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go 2 feet apart,
There you go.
go a little wider. There you go. And then make sure the outside edges of your feet are straight, especially on your right one.
Your lumbar spine.
There you go. Fingers are spread open,
Mhm.
and we reach, and then lean. Should feel a little freer up
What's the
here.
next one?
Mhm.
Yeah, yes, good. And you're just finding a comfortable range of motion, not trying to force it. Breathing the whole time. The space that's between your back and the wall is
Yes.
good. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Up here, though,
Yeah.
try and get that shoulder back.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, because that shoulder will try to get out of the way because it doesn't necessarily want to be separated from that hip yet. There you go. Good. So that, feel how that left one's easy to keep back.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then,
the right.
And then the right one wants to pop forward.
How do you know
So
all this?
it's, you start seeing as many bodies as we do, and, you know. And there's patterns. There's definitely patterns. So we need to break those.
Your foot from big toe.
Align the body what it's supposed to do.
Right, so my left shoulder blade, no problem staying in contact.
Yeah.
Right one?
Relax your shoulders, palm.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Right.
Yep.
Which is a lot different than on the floor in static back, where that left one was popping.
Right.
Yeah, so very
Yeah.
different.
Squeeze from big toe to heel.
Okay, so 5 of these, and then.
Do I
And then we
use
go
my
1
heel?
foot wider.
Okay.
How are your shoulders doing, by the way?
Well,
How are your shoulders doing, by the way?
shoulders doing good. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
a lot of work?
working. Yeah.
Yeah, put that right foot in some more. Hardest thing with most people on this one is finding some wall space.
Okay.
Might have to take down a picture
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that, or closet doors work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I have a pretty.
I can feel my left butt.
Open space.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
do type apartment,
feel
so
right.
Yeah.
maybe 2 pictures and
All right, good.
Feel
Yeah.
both sides even.
plenty of wall space.
So as
Nice.
you're doing
We'll
this,
move the futon in the beanbag chair. I'm just.
There you go. Good.
4 days ago, you can feel that.
Grew up a little bit since college.
With the kombucha setup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How many of these have I seen?
Okay. Good.
All right.
And then let's go back to hip width apart.
That's my first.
We finish where we started. A little closer together. It's about a fist
I'll call
distance in
it.
between your toes. Not quite a pigeon toed, but close to
Like
that.
knee and the glutes are in the same
And
thing.
then shift and
After 5 minutes, I'm like, all right.
and
that's
get a
enough.
comparison. So you took a mental note of how tight it was when you first did it, and then get a sense of where you are now in terms of the rate
Oh,
of change. So already your body's going to be changing
Upper
because you're
body
reminding the
rise.
muscles how they're supposed to work
Like my right shoulder.
to move your bones. How's that feel this time?
Yeah, feels
So
good.
notice as you
Yeah.
get the right
Definitely
hip
working.
to do what it's
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. And the tendency is going to be that your shoulders do want to go up in your traps.
But
You
now
just
my
have to
right,
keep
my
reminding
left,
them you
my
drop.
right
It's part
heel
of
feels
your
like it's
compensation.
cramping
Yeah.
up on the right
You
leg.
haven't been getting thoracic extension, so your shoulders are used to that.
Even breathing right now, my chest feels more open.
Yeah, yeah.
through the knee.
It's cool stuff. In,
So
in all of your
another
systems,
5,
yeah. This isn't just about your bones and muscles. This is about all of the systems in your body. So cardiovascular, think about a runner, right? A marathoner who's stuck like this. Think about the rate or the shallowness of their breath. You know, they're trying to take a deep breath in, but their diaphragm doesn't have anywhere to go. So it's not until they get up here that they can actually inhale properly and get more diaphragm. Same thing with whether you're, you know, a football player, baseball player, whatnot. If you need to recoup, right, it's hard to do if you're here. So that's why you got to get that extended. And then in terms of digestive, reproductive systems, all of that within.
The shoulder and the neck.
Then, pelvis supports all of that.
Yeah,
so if
yeah.
we're
I
off,
don't feel anything anyway.
then different
That's
organs
great.
can be affected in different ways.
I'm trying to get my left heel.
So this is like the Metamucil
There you
for
go.
some people.
So your left glute in cahoots with your right.
That's a good tagline. This should be called the Egoscue exercise.
Getting your hip,